Need to hear one of our shows again? We've got them on podcast. Go to fmmoneytalkradio.com. Scroll down to Podcast on Demand. Pick your show, and it's on. Podcast on fmmoneytalkradio.com.
It's lunchtime and the Brooklyn Cafe is open for business. Live from the Brooklyn Cafe studios, Dawn and Freddie S. and their team are ready to serve up a huge portion of fun for lunch with friends and neighbors. So let's break open that lunch pail and unwrap that sandwich you brought and take a front row seat at the Brooklyn Cafe and get ready to enjoy some humor and hot topics. It's time to get a healthy serving of hope and happiness to help your day go by with a smile. Your hosts, Dawn and Freddie S., are ready to talk about food, health, dating, or just plain dream making. If you have a story to share, or a movie review, restaurant critique, or just a coincidental thing that happened to you, call in free 888-994-4995 right now. Sit back and enjoy your lunch break at the Brooklyn Cafe. Here are your hosts, Dawn and Freddie S.
I hope you can hear me. That's all I got to say. And I hope that there isn't a lot of static. a
All I
lot
got
of
to
dirt.
say, welcome to the Brooklyn Cafe on a beautiful Tuesday afternoon. It's been nuts.
It is a beautiful day
Beginning
outside.
to end, not inside. There is nothing but thunderstorms in here.
That is not true.
It is true.
Because if you actually look at the picture behind you of Miriam from Amy Reshevsky, we're going to do a slick. You know what we're going to do for Amy? Can you find the green leaf on all of Amy's paintings?
Okay, now I got a problem.
What's your problem? You got another green leaf hanging behind you.
Teddy actually fixed it.
Of course she did. She's Teddy and
No,
Val.
it's still there, but it's much better.
So we're going to go on the hunt for the green hemp leaf in all of Amy's paintings. So there is one loose green leaf behind you on Miriam. And I know there's one on the Swiss cheese painting over there. And there's going to be more. So that could be a whole thing I want to do with Amy Reshevsky. Can you find the hemp plant?
Where is it?
It's right behind you on Miriam's hair. It's kind of woven in and it's left
Where's
dangling.
The green, jolly green jolly?
That's behind you also. And Slick, when we go to commercial break, what we're going to do is we're going to reveal the rest of this painting. So now you can see the bottom. We're going to work your way up and see the beauty of all of this. It's going to be a show in evolution, and that's what I think that we should do, a show like that, the evolving show of the Brooklyn Cafe. And no, I have not had any of Summer's Capistara yet today, is all I can say, but I'm excited that Summer is with us. Was this the first time you did a modeling debut?
I mean, I did a little bit of modeling back in the early years when I was in my 20s, early 20s.
What did you model?
Well, I modeled jeans and then I did some lingerie for a bit. But anyway, yeah, so it's been a while, but as far as like being in front of the camera and talking and everything too, it was a little different. I needed a few shots before I did it, but I didn't have any shots before I did it, and I still kind of made it through. So
How does the owner of a distillery not have shots? I guess you can't drive with an open bottle. There's that law in Florida, right?
Hard.
But I love the way you were able to set up that whole shoot at Crazy Uncle Mike's, a very good friend of the cafes. And hey, Mr. DJ, so you shot his commercial for the limos.
Mhm.
Plus, you got to meet Mike, which was amazing,
Yeah,
and do
right.
some shots for you.
Yeah, he's got a great place there, so it's a beautiful establishment, and really nice guy. So it was great to be able to talk to him and do everything that we did today.
He's always supporting local, which
Yeah.
is so nice. Crazy Uncle Mike's right on Federal Highway, kind of the Boca del Rey border. But if you haven't checked it out, you got to check it out and see all his crazy videos he posts all over town. We should have him do one from here. It's always like, where's Mike?
He has bands and stuff to go in there. It's kind of an interesting place. You've been with Chuck and all. You guys got to go in there.
That was the only place, that was actually the only restaurant we've been to since all of this was to Crazy Uncle Mike's, and we sat outside. He gave me a great corner table. It's the only place I've been because I know Mike. I trust him. I know he's as cognizant because he's looking out for everybody, and we've had him here since the beginning.
He's the only guy that I know that he made a beer that was sour. Now this is going back before the craziness, and I tasted it, and I was like, wow, this is like lemon beer, and my son joined us on that deal, and he had one. He says, oh, this is the latest craze, lemon beer. He says, no, everybody likes sour beer, so he kept bringing on the pictures. Remember this? Our anniversary show
That was our 3-year.
that we had Mr. CBS Channel 12 weatherman.
I think about that year and a half has flown by like in a blink of an eye.
Yes.
Yeah,
That was
he's
a
like,
year and a half?
No,
That wasn't a year and a
it's been
half.
Painful. Yes.
It was?
Yeah. Feels like 10, right?
20. Wow, really? A year and a half?
Yes.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, the 4th year anniversary, we were here, kind of in quarantine. We didn't get to do a whole lot. And we're rolling into our 5th year.
But we were still up north at the other place when we did that
Yeah.
show. And the cake people made us a cake that looked like a television set. When they put our picture inside the set, it was ridiculously funny.
But Mike is great. We got to have Mike back. It is Taco Tuesday at the Brooklyn Cafe. No better time to go hit up Crazy Uncle Mike's than Taco Tuesday. See, I think Summer's on 1, 2.
I don't know what's
Get her
going
up
on.
and rolling. Slick, the shot went well today? Shoot, shot.
The shot, yeah, everything went well. It
Shot?
was just
He's
it was just I
coming-
dressed too warm.
coming like,
I
yeah,
dressed too
right?
warm today. What?
He's
Shoot
coming
the
like,
shot.
yeah, right?
Huh?
He's coming like,
No,
yeah,
it
right?
was
But
a-
this
it
is
was
not a
just
question.
a whole lot of questions that I got answered.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you and me
those-
gonna have a like conversation.
Shoot the
No,
shot.
but everything went well.
We had a great time yesterday shooting film at Lost Harbor.
Yeah.
That was incredible. What a great place you have.
Thank you. Thank you. I've put a lot of work into it. I mean, it's not the most beautiful, luxurious distillery, but it's mine and it fits what I do and who I am and what we're about. So, yeah, thank you.
What's the mission of Lost Harbor?
I think it's mostly to get people to know who Lost Harbor is and have it become a household name.
And I think you're working really well in that. You've got award-winning bottles,
Thank you.
which we got to see, which we don't talk about enough, that we really should.
She's very humble. You ever notice? Someone
Yes.
doesn't talk about her very much. I
don't.
mean, do you wake up every morning and come to the realization that, you've hit a mark in the business world?
It's still really hard. I mean, I know what I've put into it and I know how hard I work. All of my passion goes into what I do, my heart and soul. And so it's still kind of weird for me sometimes to think that I have a product on a shelf that people buy. I'm like, oh, wait, I did that. And it's still almost not real for me at times because I'm just doing what I love. Like when I am in the distillery making the product and mixing and blending and coming up with formulas and being my nerd self that I am, that's like where my passion comes in. So I don't think about the other parts after that. I'm like, oh, right. There is that part that it's on a shelf and people are buying it and people are enjoying it and they know what it is. And, the craziest thing is when I'm out there somewhere and somebody says, oh, Lost Harbor, I have that. And I'm like, oh, you do? Oh my gosh. Like, okay. And I didn't even have to show you. Somebody else did or somebody
But do you identify, let's say you're on whatever and somebody comes out and says, well, you want Lost Harbor do you say, oh, I know that brand, or that's me?
Sometimes I do, and it's kind of funny because I've been at the South Florida Fair since it started on the 15th, and I have a booth out there, and I'm, serving Lost Harbor, just doing samples so that people get to know who we are. And so when people do come up and start talking to me, a lot of people think that I'm just a girl that works for a company that's serving shots. So when I'm, saying, oh, I do this and I put this, and they're like, you? And I'm like, yeah, this is my brand. I make it. I'm the owner. I'm the, I make everything. I'm the creator. And they're like, oh, I have that in my fridge and I have this. And it's just, so, I like being the face that they get to know that correlates me with my brand.
So what I want to do now that you just gave me that idea, Val's doing a second commercial. I want to do a second commercial that we're going to launch with the new label. So
Okay.
you're going to see the one commercial that has the old label, and when
Okay.
you're ready to launch the new one,
Yep.
I want you to voice it over and say, hi, I'm Summer Peep. I am the owner, the creator, the founder of Lost Harbor. This is our mission, and go through that
Okay.
as to why you do what you do.
Sure.
So we get two different takes on it. What do you think?
I like it. And I saw some of the stuff that she's working on there as well. I mean, you do things for other companies as well. I mean, it's kind of cool to come and the realization that you've hit that note, and nobody wants to walk around and say, well, that's me. But it's funny because when things aren't good, it's the me oh my. It says, unfortunately, that's me. So you should take the applause. You should say, that's my brand. And I'm sure that you're going to be doing more and more in the future with what you're doing. So I think it's kind of cool. And it's funny because I said to Missy Fu over here that I always wanted to get into the distillery business, into the rum business. And she looked at me, she says, why? Remember that? You remember the conversation.
What do you know about a rum business? I did. I said, are you crazy? What do we know about promoting rum? Now we got rum, gin, vodka, and Capistara, which is that your number one seller?
That is my number one seller. Yeah. My gin is very, very close. It's my newest product. The gin is the newest product, but it's done very, very well because it's a new, like, American style gin. It's not your typical grandpa's gin where you're eating a Christmas tree kind of feel. It's more, I tone back the juniper, and it's more citrus and florally. So more Americanized. Everything that I make, I want to be attractive to females. That's my whole point. We have 25% more taste buds than men do, so we taste a lot more. So I wanted girls to be able to drink a spirit straight as well as with their favorite mixer. And so the gin really hits that note. It's really refreshing. But the Capistara, hands down, is our number one seller.
Well, I got some bad news for you. Because Slick and I were checking out that pineapple thing you did, which I'm going to tell you, that was spectacular.
Thank you.
Was that good or what?
That was a flatline drink. Like I feel like that was a nice drink. It hit.
Yeah, it hit.
Cake
I
by the
needed
Harbor?
food after the fact
Yeah,
because
he had to
like,
come. He had to come eat because he was like.
Yeah,
But
'cause
the
I'm
bottom
like-
line.
Daddy had to come eat too.
Yeah, everybody was eating after that. The bottom line was women have 25% more taste buds, but men drink 25% more.
They do, but I figure if a woman likes it, a man is probably going to like it as well, because, they drink stuff
can
that
take that so many
women
different
are not
ways.
going to. So
Feed them more, right? Feed the women more. Come and have 12 drinks with me.
women
Cake
are
by
your
the Harbor. That was
consumers.
amazing. Got to do a whole little tasting with that. Slick, you liked it.
Oh yeah, most definitely. Like, yeah, that pineapple juice with the.
And you love pineapple when you're drinking.
Oh
the
yeah, I love
coconut
pineapple
water?
on my rum. So yeah, I love pineapple as like a good mixer. But that one, I have to say, I have to give it up as. I don't know I forgot what it was called.
Cake by the Harbor.
Cake by the Harbor.
But the whole story behind how you started this and getting to see you create everything yesterday, how to the last drop, literally, they say the coffee commercial, good to the last drop. It starts with the last drop. And you top off the bottles and you know exactly drop by drop. I don't even think they capture that. It fills it. And then you just measure ever so gently every single drop to exactly the 750 mLs. And then it gets capped and wiped down. I mean, every single bottle your hands touch.
Yes.
Which is unbelievable. I mean, to have the owner, the creator, the founder, a woman in business start all of this and touch every single bottle that comes out of your distillery. So talk about craft and that hand touch, that personal touch. Amazing.
Well, it's funny because that drink that you made, the Cake by the Harbor, I want to use that as an intro to every place. So the grand opening to Grapes is Friday.
Okay.
I would highly recommend we make a phone call, and for the grand opening, have you do your thing down there. I know that they can't sell liquors, but in that cake mixture, because of the juice and all that, is that a liquor?
It's still liquor, but I mean,
You could do a taste.
once you mix it with other things, it proofs it down, so it's a lower proof. It's not 70 proof in a cup like straight alcohol, straight vodka or whatever. It's going to proof it down the more that you add to it. So I mean, we could do a tasting if she was open to that. I don't want to step on her toes because I know it's her big day. And Lenore's
Oh no,
wonderful.
Lenore loves all of that whole energy thing. So she'll pair this thing. I gotta tell you, all kidding aside, the drink is outstanding.
Thank you.
Outstanding.
And you're not big on pineapple
I'm
juice,
not
so
big.
that
I
says
don't
a
even like
lot.
pineapple. But
I
that
know.
thing yesterday, I'm gonna tell you, that combination that you did, unreal. I never had anything like that in my life. This guy was swallowing glasses. It's unbelievable. I had to take it
I
out
had
of
to
your
take it
hand.
with me, but I can't believe you'll say that. I brought it. Oh no, because you
Oh,
don't
no?
drink my pineapple mixes. That's
Yeah,
why.
because you like
You're
pineapple
right.
and rum. I get
Yeah.
it. But this is a nice intro card.
And there's so many things that go into it. The end product is amazing.
Thank you.
Right. All you do, just go to your local Total Wine or your local Oceans Wine and Spirits and say, I want a bottle of Lost Harbor, Capistar, whatever. But your story behind it, that's the end product, and that's the deliciousness, and it looks like easier. You pop it open and you enjoy. But what it took you to do this, and I'm always about women empowerment, you know that. But this wasn't like a family business that you inherited or
Right.
you learned. You learned this on your own only a couple years ago,
Yeah.
and every detail
Yep.
is impeccable.
Thank you. Thank you. There's a lot of tears that have come along with this as well, but all in all, I love what I do, and that's the biggest thing. I was in corporate accounting and finance before I did this, and I was crying every day going to work, and it was just I needed that change and a passion. And when I finally decided to do this and started this, I finally found my passion. And yeah, there have been a lot of bumps in the road along the way and a lot of tears, like I said, but it's my passion. I love what I do.
And I get that. See, you don't cry. You just get Freddie out. You just
For
get a
me, I
little-
don't cry.
You don't cry when you get frustrated. I totally relate.
What are you talking about? I was crying a few minutes
Yeah,
ago.
you were yelling a few minutes ago.
No, and then came the crying. I just
But,
ran to the bathroom.
You know those sleepless nights when you wake up in the middle of the night and you look and you go, I could do that, and all of these things that evolve. That's me probably 5 out of 7 nights a week. But you love what you do and you keep going, you keep pushing because you know Tomorrow's a new day, and hopefully that next day is going to be better, and the wrinkles get ironed out, and you keep going, and you keep pushing, and you keep growing.
Absolutely.
But none of it comes easy.
No, not at all.
But you make it look effortless,
Thank you.
right? She sits there, gorgeous, spectacular, with these beautiful bottles, and it looks effortless. But a lot of hard work comes into it, and I got to tell you, you got to try all of these products. And you're in some really big retail stores.
Yeah, we're getting bigger. Total Wine was our very first sell, which was unbelievable to me. I was just like, one of the biggest stores here, here in Florida and across the nation. But, we're just in Florida for right now. But for them to take me in as a brand new product that nobody even knew what it was just amazing. I mean, I get my first delivery. I have pictures of my first, pallet going out the door on the truck. And once I heard it hit the stores, I visited each store and thanked their managers, and I bought a bottle off the shelf as the first bottle off the shelf. Those are the ones that you saw in the showroom at the distillery. I signed them as the first bottle purchased at the first, the first pallet that went out. So yeah, I was very proud of that. It was an emotional moment, like, oh my gosh, my stuff is on a shelf right here, so it was just really emotional and really cool. And I had to go say thank you because it was a big deal.
How many stores, how many Total Wines are you in?
Well, we're in Palm Beach County. Total Wines, we're in Broward and Dade, and we're moving up through the county. So the distributor that I'm with, Florida Craft Distribution, they got bought out during this whole pandemic, and they've been expanding. And so I think it was September that we went statewide. So we're slowly getting out to all the
Congratulations.
stores. So yeah,
That's tremendous.
thank you.
And you know that you are an essential. What is that?
An essential.
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 Very
Yes.
essential. Yeah, absolutely.
Liquor
Without you,
is considered an
liquor
essential.
is an essential. Without liquor, we couldn't get through this whole thing. I tell you, and plenty of it.
Absolutely true.
Now, it's really interesting that you're talking to her about how women empowerment is going and growing. And we have, don't you have a seminar or something that you're putting on?
Yes. I
When are
do.
you doing that? It's funny because you talk about Summer being humble, and you're going to be doing a women empowerment seminar. When is this?
Next Thursday,
At what time?
6:30.
And I see that you walk around here and you put all sorts of commercials together and have this, that, and you never did it. Maybe not for you, maybe for them, telling people how they can listen to what
Actually,
you got
somebody
going
at
on.
Nadine Kirby said, could you please share the link? So I actually put the link on the post today. I don't think about promoting me. We do this every day to promote
Yeah, but
everybody else.
you're promoting the event just like you're doing with Summer right
Yes.
now, because you are essential and you are now where people look at you to follow. What you guys are doing is the name of the game right now. So why don't you put up I think I got the banner in my email address. If not, I'll send it again and promote it. When is it?
It's next Thursday at 6:30 with ABWA, American Business Women's Association, the Coral Springs chapter. And on Facebook, I have posted the link. It's $10 to join the Zoom call. And if you don't hear me enough for 3 hours a day, you're going to get me for another 45 minutes next Thursday, talking, I guess, a little bit about my background, how to show up on air, how to keep going, how to keep pushing, and what it's like to be networking virtually and putting your best foot forward always.
Now, I got to make fun of my partner a little bit because 6 years ago, when I had asked Dawn to come and work with me, she had said no because she had nothing to say. And here we go now, and you, not only do you have something to say, now you have something to say that
I got
people
a
want
lot
to
to
listen
say.
to.
I know people want to listen, but I got a lot to say.
But people can follow a winning formula. Same thing with Summer. You look at, and you're in a man's business, AKA allegedly, which is no longer a man's business. It's the way it used to be viewed. But you're in the business world, and you're in the business world. And this used to be a man's business, or Walter Cronkite, all those guys, right? King. But now the game has changed. All of a sudden, you have these people making paths like you, and you should take a minute and sort of pinch yourself and say, something, I got this. Because you got a whole bunch of other women that are looking at what you're accomplishing, and it's important that you let them know there's the right way and then there's this way. And it's the same road. So congratulations on what you're doing. Congratulations on what you're doing. See, me and Slick get to enjoy this because we get to film it. we get to interview it. I mean, he went on a shoot today, right?
Oh yeah, you know, it was a little steamy, but yeah, we went on a shoot today. Yeah.
He's like a lobster. He's always with the steamy. You know, not for nothing. Don't kill the bit.
I can't
I
wait to
wasn't
see
killing
it.
the bit, but yeah, it was a nice shoot today. Yeah.
All right, let's take a commercial break. Let's play Summer's piece. Want to see the new commercial that we shot yesterday up at Lost Harbor Distillery in West Palm Beach. See how that's rocking and rolling out. And I know you've got new labels coming out, some new formulations coming out, and then you'll have a second version when all of that comes to be. So let's take a look at Lost Harbor commercial spot, take a quick commercial break. As always, give us a call, 888-994-4995, Studio A, and we'll be right back.
Welcome to Lost Harbor Spirits, a world where pirates inspire our spirits, treasures remain undiscovered, and flavors are infused with the essence of mysterious voyages. We invite you to join us on our journey inspired by the undiscovered Spanish fleets lost in the 1600s, the treasures that have been buried with them, and of course, the lost harbors that remain abandoned on the foggy coasts of Florida. Proudly distilling in West Palm Beach, Lost Harbor Spirits is a true treasure waiting to be discovered.
Beautiful just the way I am. I'm beautiful just the way I am. And I'm radiating love, attracting all the good that I can. Oh, I'm beautiful just the way I am.
Musaf is a music subscription app combining affirmations and meditations. The mixing of music and positive affirmations will take you on a positive journey towards healing. Download your app today, available on iPhone or Android, or contact Leslie Carmen at 561-405-9577. Musaf, that's MUSAFF, on Apple or Android.
Hi, I'm Tracy McDonough, owner and founder of Healing Moments. Healing Moments is a healing playroom, a mind, body, spirit center. Our service is love and compassion, and the environment is soothing, peaceful, and inviting. Every area is designed for healing and peace. We deliver services such as massage therapy or lymphatic drainage, energy healing and Reiki, chakra balancing, physical vascular therapy for circulation and pain, vibrational medicine using frequencies and oils, and music in order to calm and relax your mind, body, and spirit. We also offer detoxification services using infrared sauna, ionic foot baths, and power plates. All of our modalities are designed to reduce stress, anxiety, induce relaxation, relieve pain, and provide detoxification and inflammation reduction for optimal healing and wellness.
You've been watching the Brooklyn Cafe Show. Join us each day and after hours as we talk about the hot topics to open the conversations and share a few laughs. Now, back to Dawn and Freddie S.
This segment of the Brooklyn Cafe Show has been brought to you by Palm Beach Distillery, home of Lost Harbor Spirits. From our vodka, rum, and gin to our famous Capistara vanilla caramel flavored vodka, our spirits are adventurous and full of flavor. So be adventurous and find your Lost Harbor. And now back to Dawn and Freddie.
Nice work producing, Slick. Awesome, Summer. Let's clip that and keep that as a spot.
I think we should. Why don't we, let's do that. That way we don't have to do it over and over again. That was very nice.
That was fantastic.
Now, what's
I
going to
had a little bit
happen?
of practice today.
Well, we're going to go to the next level where you're going to walk over to the table and you're going to do that with a drink that's all prepared in the whole night. It's a whole
Oh,
punch. It's a
okay.
progression.
A whole
Oh, gotcha.
pour.
It's a whole pour.
So that was awesome.
Thank you.
And of course, we can't let today go by without paying homage to losing Kobe Bryant and everyone else on the
Can
flight
you believe that that was a year ago?
a year ago.
Holy
I know.
smokes.
It's like the things it gives me the chills. Things you remember where you were probably when you heard it. And I remember exactly where I was. And then I texted you saying, can you believe, or you texted me saying, this is what just happened. And it's almost like, it's like when the Twin Towers, when you think, no, it's like wrong news.
And it's funny because, not funny, but tragic in that we just lost Hank Aaron and Don Sutton. And I mean, you lost all these people around the same time. This is just like craziness.
I know, but
But
Chris,
his was tough because it was the accident.
he was young.
yeah.
You know,
his
unfortunately,
daughter.
his daughter and everyone else on that plane, just on one of these fluke, foggy
Helicopter,
days
yeah.
that shouldn't have been flying, and who even knows why. And then, of course, all the conspiracy theorists came after that and all this craziness. But this young superstar and his daughter and all these other people in these young lives going to an event for the kids, just terrific. So, Slick, I know you put a piece together to pay tribute to Kobe and the lives.
Raced hardwood. I mean, there's like talks and debate about Jordan, but like Kobe really hit home because even though I can't say I liked him, but his skill and the accolades that he got, there's no denying that. Like Kobe was one of the greats. And
You don't like any greats. You don't like Brady. You don't like, if they don't play for the Heat, you don't like them. But the man was one of the greatest.
no, I
argument.
can't say one of the greatest. He has to be the greatest, Kobe.
Kobe.
Because the same steps that he used on the court, he took them off the court to actually help out around the community of Los Angeles to his daughter as well. Because he was not just he was zoned in as a basketball player, but I'll say more off the court. I kind of liked him more because he showed himself as like a human being and really
Well,
taught
you know,
lessons.
nobody said it better than Shaq. He said Superman ain't supposed to die. And for me, Kobe Bryant, me and my son used to argue about who was the best.
I think it's
But
Kobe.
in my book, he was one of the best. So is the king. For me, Michael is the best. And I have
True.
sentimental reasons as to why, because he beat up on my Knicks for 5 years.
Same thing
And
with
anybody
Kobe.
who could do that for 5 years is the best.
That's how I feel about Kobe.
But it was an emotional moment, the way the whole tragedy came about.
Correct.
Are we queuing up the Kobe piece?
Yeah.
Yep. So Slick put a piece together. We're going to cue that up and play that.
The lesson I cherish the most is how important it is to love what you do. If you love what you do and it's making you happy, all the hard work and perseverance will pay off. I once had a guidance counselor tell me that I shouldn't play basketball, that it would never amount to anything for me. His negativity towards me made me stronger. You can't stop people from trying to limit your dreams, but you can stop it from becoming a reality. Your dreams are up to you. I encourage you to always be curious, always seek out things you love, and always work hard once you find it. So with that, I'll let you carry on with your evening. Please know I'm thinking of you, supporting you, and encouraging you always.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, I
Nice
gotta
job,
tell you,
Slick.
that's a nice piece. I gotta tell you, that is Lake of Gold right there. You know what I'm saying? I mean, Lake of Gold. I remember Jerry West was playing the Knicks in the '72 finals. And Jerry West was unbelievable. He could shoot the ball from anywhere and score. Larry Bird also. But I'm going to tell you, the Mamba, Black Mamba, there ain't no stopping him where he wants to score. There is absolutely nobody who could stop him.
Yeah, that was kind of the beginning of all of this craziness, is his passing, and then it just cascaded through where we are. So maybe, as the year ends, maybe this will be the end of all of this craziness, and maybe that's the sign we're looking for.
I just find it kind of weird that he's looking down on us, and he's letting us know that. That was a nice piece of work done. It sort of, you know, the hairs in the back of my neck went up when he said those words. But you know something? You got to tip your hat to the great ones.
Well, here's the thing. We were just talking, I hadn't seen Slick Spot yet, about loving what you do and finding your passion. When people say no, we've had this conversation all morning. You can hear it. You just got to let it go and continue to do what you love to do.
Yep.
What did people think when you said, I'm going to open a distillery?
I think people thought I was crazy at first. You know, I'm a nerd in finance. Like, what am I going to do opening a distillery? And especially, like you said, in a man's world, in a man's, you know, a male-dominated industry. But, you know, I was just like, okay, well, this is what I love to do, and this is what I, you know, I'm just going to do it until I can't anymore. So it is what it is.
But you could have picked any business.
I could have, but, you know, doing research and figuring out what, you know, I didn't know that this was my passion. I didn't know that making alcohol was going to be what I was going to love to do. And, you know, it was more of a sheer whim of like, okay, you know, this is popular, this was recession proof, it's going to stick around, you know, there's always a need or a reason for alcohol. And, you know, what can I do with that? I didn't want to own a bar. That was just too much overhead and stuff. And, you know, with my nerdiness and my background, numbers and chemistry, you know, creating alcohol and coming up with formulas and things like that. Plus, I like to bake and cook. And so I'm always creating recipes and throwing flavors and things together. So it just kind of made sense. And it wasn't until I actually got started making my first formulas and blending and mixing things together and figuring out what tasted good that I was just like, wow, I love this. Like, Are you
good in chemistry?
I was really good with chemistry, yeah.
So it's E equals MC squared, is that how you get all the flavors?
Something like that.
A little bit of this, a little bit of that.
No, she looks at it as a chemist. It's different, right? Because molecularly,
yeah,
it's got to sort of
it's got to have a structure and it's got to go together, and you know, you've got to balance everything out, and you know, it's hard to figure all that out, but once you get it, or once I got it, it made sense to me. I was like, oh, well, this makes a lot. of sense.
So when your son goes, Mom, I'm never going to use this chemistry stuff, you're going to say, Cash, yes, and look how I now use this.
Yeah. And he wants to be a chemist too, so he tells me, Mom, I'm going to take over Lost Harbor one day. And I'm like, okay, if that's what you want to do, great. Mom will go on vacation.
That is awesome. You got to follow your passion. You got to find what you love, and in your heart, everyone told me, you got nothing to say. No one's going to listen to you. Except my guidance counselor said the opposite of Kobe. My guidance counselor said to me, you should go to school for communications. And I went, no one's going to listen to me. There's nothing to say. I'm going to talk about this next week on this imposter syndrome of what that is and what your why is. And I guess he was right, because I went to school for communications. And then I said, nope, still not going to do it. And I got my master's in special ed, because that was, I thought, was my passion. But now, as we sit here 5 years later, I'm able to bring it all together with our kids network and the children and the education side of it, plus the communication and the women empowerment and having nothing to say. It's all kind of come full circle to do what I love to do.
Now, let me ask you, ladies, people always want to change the plan, because before you're successful and you're trying these things, everybody's trying to talk you out of doing it because of their fears, not yours.
No, they still do as you go through the process, right?
So, yes.
Yeah, I mean, there's always somebody that's going to try to discourage you or telling you you're doing something wrong, but that's how I learn. By doing things wrong, I learn the right way to do it.
And then once you're on this path that it's working and you continue to do it, then everybody's going to tell you how to do it, because the same naysayers then become but let me tell you, you do it this way. Yeah. And they think they walked in your shoes, and they haven't. And they don't understand the fundamental aspects of sacrifice to do what you do. And then you got to market it. Then you got to grow it. And then in this game, you got to be good. You got to keep changing
But I don't
up.
think of it as a sacrifice, do you?
Not really.
Yeah, how many tears were hit that pillow?
There's a lot of tears for sure.
Okay.
I mean, there's so much that goes into it, and so much that you think, you know, how am I going to take this next step, or how am I going to move on? For me, there's always been something inside that's like, you've got this, keep going. And I have a lot of, you know, support behind me as far as the ladies of Capistara, all my girls, you know, they encourage me, keep going, you've got something great, don't quit, don't quit, don't quit, you know. And so it takes a little bit of encouragement and you know, self-encouragement as well, and that's sometimes hard to come by. But, you know, you just have to tell yourself, I can do this, keep going.
And you seen the commercial. I had so much fun labeling the bottles. I just kept going back for more. I love that little machine. Talk about therapy, that pedal, and the labels, and you pedal again, and the labels.
That's like what everybody loves to do. They love to put the, you know, and I'm like stuck doing the hard stuff, and I'm like, really, guys?
But even the little one on top, it's like, you know what, you just want it to be perfect because that is your brand and that is who you are. So I had a really great time yesterday there.
And you're welcome to come anytime.
I'm going to tell you, after what I saw you going through, I'm already making phone calls because you got a machine that does all that. Because that would drive me completely insane.
Do you think of what we do on the negative days as a sacrifice?
No. It's
That's
not
what
a
I'm saying.
me,
That's what I'm
yes.
saying.
I have sacrificed a lot in my life to get to where I am today.
But would you do it again?
Probably do it better.
Would you do it all over again? If you look back, you say, I'll do this again?
Yeah, and like you said, do it better. I mean, if you could remember and go back, you know, the sacrifices that you've been through, absolutely go through what you've been through, but learn from it and do it better, I think.
You see, because the one thing I've learned in this lesson, I mean, I've had it since I was 11. I don't fear success. I think that when you hit success, there's always a little bit more. You know how you did your bottle and you until you get it right to where it needs to go? That's my life in that bottle. Because every time it fills, I squeeze a little more in there because you're going to always get a little bit more out of life. And I love it when people tell me how to do it, why to do it, and when. And then I say, okay, show me. You know, you want to sit here? Show me. I dare you. I'll draw the line wherever you are. You want to do what she does? I dare you. You want to do what she does or what he does? Bring it. Because this ain't easy. And there is sacrifice.
I got to tell you, since we've been working with Summer, she's now on camera. She's doing her own spots.
Her son.
We're going to put a show together around Cash Money, which is hilarious. I love that. That's for the Kids Network because he's adorable and incredible. He's a mini you.
Thanks.
And Slick, since you've been putting all these spots together, you started this on September 11th. You did a spot. You were up all night doing that spot. Yeah, but now you do them faster.
Yeah, most
and
definitely.
better.
Yeah, most definitely.
He's
yeah.
up all night no matter what. I called him the other day. He was having a party.
Oh yeah, I
with
was having a
himself.
party, social distancing
Yeah,
party.
by yourself.
By yourself?
He kept saying, there's nobody in the room,
Social
but everybody
distancing
stand back.
party.
What is it with you?
Social distancing party, you know. I didn't have Copper Star, but I had Gubba that night. So.
Did you?
You're hilarious.
You were having fun and two-fisted. Okay, so we have the Super Bowl in less than 2 weeks. It's now Tuesday, in less than 2 weeks. All eyes are on Florida. All eyes are on Florida. So I want to just say to Gubba and to Lost Harbor, in the next 2 weeks, I want to come up with a Super Bowl here and a Super Bowl there. You know, they don't have the parties outside the stadium this year.
Mm-hmm.
They're not doing it because of, obviously, the reason, right? So what they want you to do is they want you to have mini parties leading up to the Super Bowl. Because what do we watch on Super Bowl day besides the game?
The commercials. And who's singing at the Super Bowl? Anyone know?
The Weeknd.
Yeah, the weekend blinded.
Just can't be J-Lo again?
No, no more J-Lo.
I love my
No, no,
J-Lo.
no more.
That's all I can tell you.
Muy caliente.
No, too much like J-Lo. There's more J-Lo than I know Jello.
So why don't we maybe put your Cake by the Harbor drink as our Super Bowl drink of the week, and we'll come up with the Gubba Super Bowl drink of the week. And
or we come up with, if you're watching
we
today's
do
show.
Super Bowl this week, we do Super Bowl next week. Yep.
If you have a drink, we put it up to the challenge. So the cake drink is the champion, and let other people bring, and we'll have a drink off. And let other people try.
What day you coming this week?
The lines will be blurred. I think we have a
Isn't
drink.
that a
It's
song?
not 20 drinks at once. You're going to have one drink versus another. So we'll have people send us your recipe or bring your recipe, either or.
For your Super Bowl.
And no, from here to the Super Bowl, so that we can crown the champion on that Friday.
Let's do it. And where do people find Lost Harbor?
Lost Harbor you can find at any Total Wine, Ocean Wine and Spirits, Palm Beach Liquors, Pompano Discount Liquor, several other places. We're working on a lot right now. Hopefully we'll have an online platform soon that will go out to 44 states, which will be amazing.
Wow.
My friends and family can finally get Lost Harbor. And we're working on expanding into other states as well. But yeah, Total Wine for sure. Go out there and get it.
Go out and get it. All right, let's take a commercial break. When we come back, I think we're going Bitcoin. If he's still here, I hope Michael's still here.
Just walk down.
We're going to be talking Bitcoin a little bit. You're welcome to stay, but I know we've kept you a little busy today.
Got a couple of appointments. Busy day today. So yeah.
Perfect.
Get the new label on to get it out there to everybody. So.
Get your new label on.
LostHarborSpirits.com. Summer, thank you. Truly spectacular. I'm so excited that we get to work with you.
Thank you. Me too.
Let's take a break, and we will be right back. Welcome to your vacation staycation. And what better way to kick back than to blend up a sweet pina colada, a smooth mojito, or just a nice stiff rum and coke. If you want true relaxation and enjoyment, then you want Gubba Rum. Gubba Rum is a unique rum infusion. Gubba Silver Rum is infused with real shredded coconut, and Gubba Rum Gold is infused with real shredded vanilla bean. Both are made with certified organic ingredients. Each infused Gubba Rum is 35% ABV, 70 proof, and as we say in Boston, wicked smooth. So if you're looking for the best combination of taste, smoothness, quality, and price, your clear choice is Gubba Rum. If you want that wicked smooth taste for yourself or your vacation staycation, visit GubbaRum.com to find your closest liquor store that carries Gubba Rum Gold and Gubba Rum Silver. Gubba Rum, it's wicked smooth.
Let's all welcome a new sponsor to the show. It's AMP2 TV, the first and only internet production company that's truly plugged in. When you're looking for a full-service internet TV radio production company, discover AMP2 TV, a full-service production company that can provide all streaming videos in studio or remotely. They offer web page development, and they use all the latest platforms to help make all your business selling points more powerful. They can do remotes or live radio streaming as well as tape productions for social media platforms and television. AMP2 TV can handle all of your television needs, including closed caption for a perfect on-air telecast. Choose from a variety of creative TV and radio packages or visit one of their many studios to get your creative juices flowing. Come and see why AMP2 TV works with many major companies, including Comcast, Bravo, and Fox 29, as well as individuals and businesses of all types and sizes. To see samples of their work or to find out more, visit their website at amp2.tv. That's AMP, the number 2.tv, or call them at 866-224-5422. Feel free to call for a quote or just a consult of how to put your business on a social media platform or radio platform, or just doing a show that is covered by all platforms. Call 866-224-5422 and make an appointment. That's 866-224-5422.
The way you live your life says a lot about you. The way you choose to commemorate your lifetime can say even more. It's a single event that speaks volumes. So how do you celebrate a life? Dignity Memorial providers believe that your memorial service should be as unique as you are, reflecting your personality and your passions. It should be a perfectly tailored send-off, a fitting tribute for family and friends, to celebrate the person they love. We're professionals at catering to your every need, right down to the catering. In fact, no detail is too small. So when it comes time for a fitting tribute, we'll see that your final wishes are beautifully fulfilled. It's what Dignity Memorial providers are known for. And why you should rely on us to see that your life is well celebrated. The celebration of a lifetime begins here.
Looking for a place to get your ice cream fix? Look no further than Cold Stone Creamery. At Cold Stone, we make our ice cream fresh every single day in store. We have over 20 different ice cream base flavors and over 30 different mix-ins to choose from. We also have plenty of signature creations if you don't want to go ahead and choose your own. To end your creation, you can put it in one of our freshly made waffles. We have ice cream cakes, ice cream sandwiches, milkshakes, smoothies, banana splits, sundaes, and so many other things for you to come check out and enjoy. We are the official ice cream store of the Brooklyn Cafe. Hope to see you soon, and remember, it's always a great day for ice cream.
You've been watching the Brooklyn Cafe Show. Join us each day and after hours as we talk about the hot topics to open the conversations and share a few laughs. Now, back to Dawn and Freddie S.
By Gubba Rum. Gubba Rum, the rum of choice of the Brooklyn Cafe. Comes in 2 flavors. Coconut and not coconut. Wait, no, that's vanilla. Either way, it's straight from the Boston Distilleries bubblegum. It's wicked smooth. Now back to you guys.
That's right.
Coconut?
Coconut and not coconut. Good
Coconut
stuff.
and not coconut.
Coconut and not coconut. So if it's not coconut, it would be
Vanilla.
Vanilla. Nice
Speaking
job.
of not coconut, those are some nice shirts he's got coming out for Gubba Rum.
Wow.
Aren't they nice?
You know, it's funny because if I wear those shirts, I got to put on my Lost Harbor glasses because there's a whole lot of shirt bling, 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 bling.
And some bling.
And yes, and Robin Weiss is blinging.
I'm having a vision of you on the beach with a Gubba Rum shirt and some blinged out glasses and...
I got to tell you, there's so much freaking lights in here. My eyes are killing me.
Some short
The bling
shorts.
is killing me. The beast is killing me. And I got to wear my glasses because this is just like, it's like real bright in here today. This is like a
you know
hangover
why?
in the
It's because
sun.
you wear such darkness.
You invite the heat in. That's what happens.
You see this?
You know what? I see the stripes on your shirt.
Do you see that I have the bling bling? This is like an arrow, so be very careful. Robin, nice job. Robin Weiss, say hello to the
Robin
bling queen.
Weiss, our rhinestone artist, and hopefully she'll be here maybe a little bit tomorrow. I know she's got an appointment, but we'll be seeing her tomorrow on Amy Reshevsky's show on The Art of Amy Reshevsky, and Summer left a bottle for Robin to rhinestone out for her.
That's right. And I'm going to tell you something. If you come in here and you stand still long enough,
Robin may rhinestone you as well.
Too, yes. Because she rhinestones everything. And it's funny because we're going to make a shirt with the top of her head because every time she's in here, this is all I see.
The top of her head. It's a great segment, and if you're interested in the craft, in rhinestoning, in the art of bling and rhinestone, you got to check it out. The Housewives of Bling. She's got shows out all the time, different tips, different segments, and a starter kit that includes some great items: the glue, this special tool, a little holder, some glasses. It's amazing, and your first starter set of rhinestones. So check that out, and it is $125 less 20% as a friend of the Brooklyn Cafe Show. So you can email Robin at robinsrhinestones@gmail.com, and you can pick it up right here, only $100.
You didn't tell me it was less.
Yep.
When did that happen?
Last time she was here.
No.
Oh, yes.
Oh, no.
Oh, yes.
Nobody said nothing to me.
You don't listen. You should really listen to this Brooklyn Cafe Show on TV every day.
I didn't hear that.
Yes.
Wow. And you know who likes it? You know, she's contagious, Robin.
She is. She's got a great
Amy,
personality.
all of a sudden, this is all she does is bling, bling, bling.
So does Miss Tracy.
So does Jay. What the hell?
Everyone likes a little bit of bling. in their life.
A little bit of bling.
Which leads us to our
I'm
next
surprised
segment.
that Slick doesn't bling more, because he's like the bling man. Your shoes, especially your shoes. Why don't you bling your shoes? You could bling them red and white. Oh my God.
Add a rhinestone. Are you making chicken wings?
Oh no, that's
Hector's making chicken wings. It smells really good.
Red and white, you can't have that.
I know.
Red and white, red and white bling bling on your shoes, on those. No, I'm
As we
Italian.
move over to the bling, though, we have a very patient guest who's been with us since 11 o'clock.
I know, my condolences.
And we've got Michael talking about Bitcoin, which is really interesting because Teddy Unscripted, Teddy did a show. It's been a little while, been a minute, as you say, since Teddy did a show, but she relaunched Teddy Unscripted, the Bear podcast today, with Michael Macchia of the Bitcoin Master. And, you know,
Grab your mic, Mike.
when you and I first started working together, Faith Washington was doing a segment on Bitcoin. And you and I looked at each other and went, we're investing in what? Nothing. Made no sense to us, so we didn't do it. We should have done it. Imagine if we had done this.
Well, because I used to be in the mortgage business, and everybody tells me, all these people tell me, no, don't put your money in Bitcoin because it's too unsteady. And it's all. If I had listened to them 6 years ago with small money, I wouldn't even be here today. I'd be on some island.
Well, I'm glad you're here joining us to explain. I'm really a total Bitcoin novice at what this is. What is a Bitcoin?
It's a great question. Now, yeah, you know what Freddie was alluding on.
And we're going to try that again. Say it again.
Okay.
What's a Bitcoin?
That's a great question. And to what Freddie was alluding to, you know, years and years ago, people just thought of it as magic internet money. It's like a meme nowadays. Magic internet money. And what is it? And, you know, to explain it in the most simplest way, Bitcoin is a decentralized peer-to-peer currency. Decentralized meaning that there's no third party or intermediary that can control it. Bank, government, company can control it. And Bitcoin, when it was coded, it was coded digitally, you know, just like a software program. And it was coded digitally and governed with an algorithm. So essentially, it's actually just controlled by math. Math is never wrong. And it was coded open source. It was released to the world, decentralized.
But who put the logarithm together?
Pardon?
Who put the logarithm that pushed
Right.
it out? Who was it?
That's a great question. So no one actually knows who it is, and it sounds almost like sketchy to people, but the guy's name is Satoshi Nakamoto. He used a pseudonym to remain anonymous. There's a lot of, you know, mystique behind it. Some people think that he was a MIT graduate or programmer. People try to trace some of his early emails. They find IP addresses related to MIT. So this guy Satoshi Nakamoto had obviously a lot of experience in, you know, financials, economics, coding, you know, computer program cryptography, it's called, because of cryptocurrency. And he got with a few different guys over the internet via email. This is like very old school, some chat forums. And they began to code, you know, same like, a computer software. They began to code and program an algorithm on a protocol. It's called a blockchain. And when they finally finished, you know, they hit the button and it was released to the entire world, and it can't be tampered with, can't be hacked, you know, because that code is set in stone.
But let me ask you.
Yes.
A dollar bill.
Yes.
Is backed by government gold. Who knows what the hell is backed? Right now, panic. So demand, right? People want to buy the Bitcoin. Does that drive the price up?
Yes. The short answer, yes. When it comes to the dollar, you know, this is about, you know, 50, at least 60 years ago, when, and even longer in the 20s and 30s, when the Federal Reserve began, and then they came off the gold standard. And I think it was Roosevelt or Hoover, one of them, they decided that. And then it was, I think, in the late 50s or 60s, or maybe even early 70s, I forget. But they officially became, they took currency off the gold standard. So there was no longer gold backing a dollar. Like a dollar worth of gold backing a dollar of paper, right? And that's what's called fiat currency, paper currency. So paper currency in any government, it's backed by the confidence that people have in it. And there's a lot of sociology that plays into that, right? People have the perceived value of certain products or commodities, like oil, and we're willing to pay for it based on what we believe it's worth. And there's a piece of paper that says that $5 is $5 and a gallon of milk is around $5, and that's how we transact. Now, Bitcoin, on the other hand, it has a fixed supply to it. When it was coded, it was coded with 21 million coins. So similar to how, diamonds or gold, it's a scarce asset, right? You have to find it. You have to buy all these machines, and there's companies of millions of dollars and they try to look for gold, right? And they look for diamond mines. They put a lot of money into that because it's scarce and it's hard to find. And over time, it starts to build a perceived value, and people are willing to pay X amount for a full carat of a diamond, and people are willing to pay X amount for a full ounce of gold. So, you have something that's scarce in supply,
But
and you have a huge
tangible
demand.
also, right?
Pardon?
Here's a bar of gold. Here's
Yes.
a diamond.
Can you say here's a
dollar.
Bitcoin?
Right.
Is it tangible?
It's not tangible. And that's something that a lot of people have difficulty kind of wrapping their head around.
Because
And
we're used to the other way.
Right. And it's like, okay, well, I have a physical bar of gold. I can hold it. It's shiny.
I have it. I can sell it.
yeah,
I can melt it.
I
I
have
can.
these diamonds. I have a necklace, right?
Right.
Truth is, actually, little tangent here. Let me ask you, have you ever actually bought something with gold in your life?
No.
Exactly. Every single time I ask someone that, they say no. Neither have I.
There's no gold in Fort Knox either.
I've never bought a cup of coffee with gold. I've never actually used it. Maybe if I'm short on cash, I could pawn it, right? Something like that, or I could sell it. But I've never actually paid for anything with it. So what happens is, we live in a time, 21st century, technology adopts, and gold it's essentially becoming a thing of the dinosaurs. It's like you can't actually do anything with it besides store it in a safe. And as we're entering this digital world, it's hard to wrap your head around, because Bitcoin is this digital currency that is transacted through the internet. And so it is hard for people to wrap their head around that. It's not a tangible asset.
But it is achievable.
But it
because
does
it's the
have
same
value
philosophy,
behind it.
yes. So if you and I were doing a deal, and we decided to do a deal in Bitcoin.
Sure.
I don't know what the hell I'm talking about, so.
I'm impressed. Go ahead.
So you and I do a business for you, you pay me in Bitcoin, you do a business for me, I pay you back in Bitcoin. Is that something that can happen?
Yes, correct.
Because the perception I'm getting all of a sudden today, like the light bulb has gone out. If I'm going to do a deal with you with money, it's the same perception that me and him have. As long as he accepts the value of the Bitcoin, it's no different than the value of the dollar.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
So,
Right on.
my gathering here is that we should take in Bitcoin as a commodity to do business. I don't know what the value is because I know what a dollar is. What's a dollar in Bitcoin?
So the most smallest form of a Bitcoin, Bitcoin has 8 decimal points behind it.
Point zero 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 zero?
Yes.
Wow.
So one Bitcoin right now, we're actually going to pull it up really quick.
He has it on automatic.
I have a quick app. I look at the price
Teddy
every 10
out
minutes.
Here. Teddy, you got to come out here.
So one Bitcoin right now is worth $32,169.
Wow.
If you were to sell one.
Whoa. What?
One full coin.
One full coin. Now don't look at a quarter because this is a digital coin. You see, this is the confusing part. One stock, one coin, one cow.
One stock of Amazon is, $3,200.
That's right. So in this case, one Bitcoin. I don't know. Yeah, but
Yeah.
how do you even visualize it? Okay, so one Bitcoin is worth how much?
So one Bitcoin right now is worth approximately $32,000.
So if you and I were doing a deal,
Right.
and I wanted to charge you one Bitcoin, you're gonna say, ha ha, no. Okay. So how do I get a percentage of a Bitcoin to get it done?
So the way it was programmed, the guy programmed it with 8 decimal points behind it. So you could actually, I have a very quick translator app as well. So let's say you owe me $10, right? You could send me, let me see here, 0.000, well, that's $3. Let's say you owe me $30. You could send me 0.001 Bitcoin. 0.001 is $32.
And how do I send that to you? Let's start there.
You would send it through an app, a digital wallet.
And this becomes a real thing.
It is a real thing. Yeah,
Right, I
you would
wanna-
send it through a digital wallet.
Wait a minute.
That
wait
feels
a-
like Cash App. No, we got to do it.
It's
quick.
it's kind of like a
This is-
Cash
I need
App
you to
for
talk to
Bitcoin.
somebody outside.
But this is unbelievable.
And actually, Cash App has Bitcoin.
Well, I saw
Yeah.
that, right? You can buy Bitcoin with Cash
Okay,
App.
so
Correct.
can I open
Jack
up
Dorsey
a Bitcoin
of
bank?
The CEO is a huge Bitcoin guy.
Can I open up a Bitcoin bank?
You have it on Cash App.
Well, that's a great question. So with Bitcoin, you're your own bank. And that's a popular expression
My head's
for
gonna
Bitcoiners.
explode.
A
Okay.
popular expression is be your own bank. Because
Build your own BYOB.
But I can see
Bitcoin
why.
is its
Be your own
own
bank.
But I can see
monetary
why.
network.
I can see why. Today, all of a sudden, the fog is lifted. I can see why it would work.
Okay, well, I want to go to commercial break.
Okay.
When we come back, BYOB, be your own bank.
Yes.
We need to talk.
We have a show called BYOB, by the way.
That's cool.
Which is
That's
build
a
your own
meme. That's a
brand.
Bitcoin meme.
But now it's gonna
BYOB.
be
Wow, but
Be your
this
own
is
bank.
amazing.
Yeah.
I'd like to put this on TV.
More to come with this. All right, stay tuned. More about Bitcoin. We're going to have Teddy out here on the set with us. Also, 888-994-1470. Whoop! Rewind. I got Bitcoin on the brain.
No, not 1470. Say it again.
888-565. No, stop it. 888-994-4995.
This is what happens. What's
Is that
the number?
the sign guy? Yes. 888-994-4995. And we'll be right back.
Safe Frame. Max Lozega creates instant freestyle mesh. His 40 years in the construction industry created the foundation for his craft. His unique work displays his view of the future with bold and playful combinations of materials and processes, but the methodology remains consistent. He fuses recycled materials and discarded building supplies into a fresh, well-executed approach. Lozega has lived in Miami, Florida most of his life, where he pursues his lifelong passion of creating industrial art. For more information, contact Max Lozega at artworkstudios.org or 786-326-80.
Hi, I'm Robin Weiss, and I'm a rhinestone artist and rhinestone art instructor. 12 years ago, when I retired from my nail business, I decided to become a rhinestone artist. But then I soon realized there was nowhere that I could go to find the adequate combination of tools or even instructions of how to go about enjoying this craft. My passion for this beautiful medium we know as rhinestones and what I knew they could create drove me to figure out a way to create this magical craft that I now teach. I have developed the perfect rhinestone crafting starter kit, which contains the perfect rhinestone crafting pickup stick. I created this kit to help others and to show you that rhinestone crafting is a craft whose time has come. Filled with fun, rhythmic, and therapeutic, the amount of items that you can cover is endless. Not to mention the places this craft will take you and the people you will meet if you should decide you want to get to artist level. You can watch my creations and watch me work on the Brooklyn Cafe TV show every Thursday, where I'll be blinging for Dawn, and sometimes Freddie, While we enjoy each other's company, I'll be bringing you the most beautiful and fun creations to inspire you to try this craft. You can also find me on Real Housewives of Bling at Instagram and also my Facebook group. That is where I'll show you all of my crystal creations while you follow me on my rhinestone journey.
48 Star Collectibles is your one-stop shop for all things memorabilia. They have movie posters, comic books, vinyl records, lobby cards, vintage televisions and radios, all in excellent condition. They even have autographed posters from some of your most popular film and artists. All of their products are guaranteed to be authentic and in excellent condition. Check out their website at 48starcollectibles.com to purchase the most authentic memorabilia around.
AskDearAbby.com. Dear Abby is a life coaching company that was founded by Abby Awutasu. At Dear Abby, we guide single people through the process of meeting, courting, and marrying their soulmates. We know that before you find true, meaningful, lasting love, you must first love and fully embrace your unique self, flaws and all. Contact us today at AskDearAbby.com for your personalized coaching session that will get you on the path to ultimately finding your soulmate. And follow Dear Abby on social media at AskDearAbby on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram.
The way you live your life says a lot about you. The way you choose to commemorate your lifetime can say even more. It's a single event that speaks volumes. So how do you celebrate a life? Dignity Memorial providers believe that your memorial service should be as unique as you are, reflecting your personality and your passions. It should be a perfectly tailored send-off, a fitting tribute for family and friends to celebrate the person they love. We're professionals at catering to your every need, right down to the catering. In fact, no detail is too small. So when it comes time for a fitting tribute, we'll see that your final wishes are beautifully fulfilled. It's what Dignity Memorial providers are known for. And why you should rely on us to see that your life is well celebrated. The celebration of a lifetime begins here.
AMP2 TV and WNN Money Talk Radio have been in conjoint business for 10 years. They have been working around the clock, non-stop, to promote over 500 shows and businesses reaching all over South Florida. With added platforms such as social media live streaming, podcasts, and the specialty of live radio, it has never been easier to get your voice heard by millions of listeners. To amplify your impact and start your show today, contact AMP2 TV at 866-224-5422. That's 866-224-5422.
You've been watching the Brooklyn Cafe Show. Join us each day and after hours as we talk about the hot topics to open the conversations and share a few laughs. Now, back to Dawn and Freddie S.
Healing Moments is one of the most amazing holistic spas where you have infrared saunas, you have a fiber acoustic sound bed, you have everything you could possibly need for all of your healing needs. She does post-surgery work, she does post-cancer work, anything that you can think of, including hot stone massages, which is my personal favorite. They also have the signature massage where Tracy finds whatever your body is calling for, whether it's crystals, Reiki, meditation, sound bowls, and she will find that and give that to your body. You will come out feeling like a whole new person. Be sure to check that out, Healing Moments. You can get in touch with them right through the cafe. Now, back to Dawn and Freddie.
Very nice. Very nice job.
Nice job. I got to tell you guys, spectacular. You know, we come in the mornings, and I always feel like we're so hard on you and what we asked for and the soundboard. But when the show comes off and the color is slick, this looks amazing. The color on camera 3 looks great. Great content. Val's doing her thing over there, but nice job. Now you ready for this Bitcoin? Slick's got this. This is what I think of. See the Bitcoin behind you? I saw on Cash App because.
But I thought that this was the currency. Apparently, this is more like a token. Hello, how are you? It has no significance.
And I want to ask Teddy, how did you get involved with Bitcoin?
So I wouldn't even call myself involved. I got a call at like 9 o'clock one night from my boyfriend. He was like, "Do you have a way to buy Bitcoin?" And I was like, "Yeah, I think I can do it on Cash App." And he's like, "Go buy $5 right now." And I was like, "Okay." And I did it, and that's all I knew about it. And I watched my little $5 go up and down. And I mentioned it to you guys, and we were like, "Oh, let's do a Bitcoin show." And I was like, "Oh no, I don't know anything about Bitcoin." So my Michael introduced me to this Michael and was like, "This guy knows everything there is to know about Bitcoin." You went viral on Twitter for all your Bitcoin stuff and your Bitcoin paraphernalia.
My Bitcoin.
Now, when
Yeah.
when did you buy into Bit?
So I first got into it in 2015, and actually at the time I thought I was late. I thought I missed it.
What you buy in at? How much was $1 worth?
Well, the first time I ever got into it, it was around like $600. The problem is that no one back then really took it seriously. We didn't know it was going to become this precious asset that it is today, and that Wall Street is going to start putting hundreds of millions of dollars into it. So I'm sitting there gambling with it online. You know, now,
Gambling online.
I won't spend any of my Bitcoin now. It's too valuable.
But now you have
Right.
your password, I guess, protected someplace. I saw that guy who lost like hundreds of thousands of dollars in Bitcoins that can't find his password.
Yeah.
Is that real?
That's called yeah. So that's called like a backup key, or your Bitcoin keys. It's basically just a long thing of numbers and letters. And when you do, those are the old school type of Bitcoin wallets. Now they're much more simple. You just make a password, just like your Facebook, or a PIN number and a password, and maybe a text there to your cell phone, like with your online banking, stuff like that. It's much more simpler. But back then, it was just like your password or your key was a very long mix of numbers and letters, and you would have to write it down. And if you forgot it, you were in trouble.
Well, here's my vision. We're always changing Freddie's password, and he's always like, "Teddy, change my
No,
password." So I've got a vision of you setting your password and you calling Teddy, going, "Teddy, what's my Bitcoin
No, this
password?"
is a little bit different because this is money. This is like a bank account. I don't forget my bank account.
Just everything else.
Just everything else.
Are you still investing in Bitcoin?
Yeah, I am.
You have more than $5 now?
I have $10 now.
Okay, so let me.
I don't have the money to
But
buy
hold on. Let me, because, you know, I've learned that if you go to Vegas and you get on the line to gamble, people will take a simple game like football or baseball, and they would turn it into a game within the game within the game within the game. Who's the first player to spit? $50, and they give you odds. Who's the first player to get a hit? It's the coin toss in a football game, heads and tails. I mean, it is the most ridiculous thing on planet Earth, right? So Bitcoin's a little bit like, hey, let's try this, because people, it's not even a loss until you take a paper loss. It's like the stock market, right?
Correct.
If I'm down in the stock market 30,000 points and I cash in, I'm in trouble. If I hold on to it and it goes up 60,000, I'm back in the game and then some. So it's no different.
But is there a broker, or you can really just go through Cash App?
Yeah, I mean, there's apps like Cash App, and there's a very popular one that's user-friendly for beginners called Coinbase.
That's what a lot of my friends
There's
use.
another one that the Winklevoss twins own.
Well, what's the difference between all
They
these
have
apps?
one called Gemini. It's just different, it's just different apps that you could buy.
Do they charge you a fee for doing it?
Yeah, the same way that there's, Fidelity, right, and TD Ameritrade. There's different apps, and different ones have different trading fees that you could purchase it through.
And
So I can pay you guys in Bitcoin now?
Technically,
You can.
They can if
Can you
if you
imagine?
take it. No,
I
it's
would
kind
love
of
it if
this
you
is very
did.
scary. This is scary
You like
because
that?
Yeah.
but it's not a paper transaction, it's a digital
And
transaction.
it's $1 for $1. So say I pay Teddy $10 for whatever she does. I can pay her $10 in Bitcoin?
You can, yes.
0.003.
Yeah.
So that means that if I hold on, because now I have $10 worth of Bitcoin, right? So if I
Yes.
hold on to it, that $10 you sent me could go up in the future.
Could also go down.
Could also go down.
But
So-
the chances
whole
are that if
paycheck.
it goes up or down, you're taking the risk of taking the money in because it may go up, like $31,000.
I mean, same thing with gold and silver. The price fluctuates. It's basically a commodity. So, over the last few years, and even still now, it's taking time for it to, still establish itself, because in my opinion, it's still a new market. It's only been around for about 10 or 11 years. As liquidity comes into the market, the price is going to get more stable. And, sometimes people are a little apprehensive to use it as a payment method because the price is so volatile. So if you owe me $100, but it goes down a little, now I have $95 when you could have just gave me a $100 bill. So it's still, gaining, adoption and popularity in that area. And again, as more people are getting into it and there's more liquidity coming into the market, the price is going to start stabling. But if you look at a chart over the last 10 years, and you ignore the ups and downs, the short-term stuff, if you look at a chart in the last 10 years, Bitcoin is the top performing asset of the last decade. Over the S&P, over the Dow Jones, over gold, it is the top performing asset. If you look at it over the last 2 years, the last year, same thing, top performing asset. So Wall Street right now is starting to look at Bitcoin.
Yes.
Because they're like, well, wait a second. We got the government printing all this money. We have companies that need to get bailed out, blah, 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 ups and downs. Warren Buffett sold out of all of his airline stocks last year, all this craziness. And now fund managers, hedge funds, they're starting to look at it and they're saying, well, wait a second. I could put 1% to 5% of my net worth or my hedge fund. I could put 3% of it and allocate it into Bitcoin, and maybe I can offset some of that risk. And Bitcoin, because it's decentralized and it has no tie to the U.S. government, what the U.S. government's doing with the Federal Reserve printing money, it's building a narrative now as an uncorrelated asymmetric asset class. So now this doesn't have a correlation now to what the stock market does. It's its own thing. So a lot of Wall Street money managers are looking at it for its asymmetric, non-correlated value proposition that it proposes.
Now,
What if you want to cash it in?
Hold on a second. We're going to get there in a second. Okay. So he invested $100 in 2015 when it was $600 a pop, right? This is what that will be worth today.
Wow.
Okay. So now let me ask you a question. So you're a multi-millionaire, according to my numbers, because I know numbers. So let's just, it might even be more than this because it was up and downs, trade-offs, and everything else. So let's say that you want to cash in $3 million. How do we do that?
Through any of those apps that you can buy it through.
And they're going to give you $3 million?
Yes. So
because
whether
the assumption is everybody's going to want to buy this.
Well, you got to think of it. So these apps like Coinbase or Gemini, there's a popular one called Binance. These exchanges, it's no different, again, from like a TD Ameritrade or a Fidelity or literally the New York Stock Exchange. It's a market. So in a free market, for every buyer, there's a seller. It's not like you're just selling this internet money into thin air.
Because there's a finite amount.
Well, there's someone
Coin.
buying it from you.
At $31,000 face value?
Correct.
Then
So-
I'm negotiating the price.
Correct. For every buyer, it's a market. So when someone goes to buy Apple stock and they're yelling in the trading pits of Manhattan, buy, sell, there's someone buying it from you,
Right.
or you're selling it to someone else. And this is, again, how it starts to build perceived value and confidence. the person buying it from me believes that it's worth that amount. So they're willing to purchase it from me, and I want to get X amount for it. I'm selling it to them. So again, for every buyer, there's a seller. It's a market just like the stock market.
It's interesting. And what is the down on Bitcoin? In other words, how does it go from $31,000 a piece down to 25? Where's the gap, or how does that work?
Yeah, again, it's still a newer market. When you think of the total liquidity in it, or the market cap, you have gold has a market cap of about $8 trillion. You have the stock market worldwide, Dow Jones, whatever stock market, has about a market cap of $27 trillion. And then you have Bitcoin that just broke a market cap of only $500 billion. So since there's less liquidity in it, literally right now, statistically, I believe it's about 1 or 2% of the world population owns Bitcoin. That's nothing. So, yes, if what's called a whale or a super mega rich guy decides to sell a lot of it,
the price will come down.
It's gonna go down hard. And again, over time, though, if you really look at a longer term track record, like the last decade, it's done nothing but go up. But in the short term, there's plenty of times that my stomach was churning, because Bitcoin went down a significant amount of money really quick, and it's easy, it's hard to get emotional and start to panic. But I always really believed in the innovation, and I believe in what it can do in the world, especially in developing countries, people that are unbanked. So I've always believed in it. I was never willing to sell it. And that was a big risk back in the day.
Teddy, do you have a lot of friends that have invested in Bitcoin?
I do. I didn't realize how many friends that I knew invested in Bitcoin until I started talking to Michael about it, and then I started talking to this Michael about it, and everyone was like, "Oh yeah, I have Bitcoin." And I was at one of our friends' houses, and they were having like a whole back and forth about Bitcoin and stocks and how you have to jump on the wagon before it's off and all this, and I was like, "Wow, this is real," because for a long time, and I was telling you, I thought it was just something that it's an untraceable money. It's on the black market. Now all of a sudden it's public. And it's like, well, it's not untraceable. And we were talking about it on Teddy Unscripted. Michael was telling me it's not untraceable, and that's not really what it is anymore. It's really a worldwide currency, and it kind of exploded my brain.
What about taxes, right? We pay taxes on stocks.
Yeah,
now,
great question. Yeah, so over the last 2 to 3 years, the government is starting to push some regulation.
Capital gains?
Correct. Which, in all honesty, it's a good thing.
Legitimizes you.
Correct. Back, 5-10 years ago, even it was actually kind of like the Wild West, and there's pump and dumps going on. Not with Bitcoin, with some other coins. There's a lot of other cryptocurrencies. There's pump and dumps. I'm talking, like Jordan Belfort type stuff.
What's the tax hit on the capital?
So yeah, the IRS over the last couple of years, they started doing 38%, same as a stock, basically 38% capital gain if you're trading in and out under 12 months, 21% capital gain if you hold it over 12 months.
So the key is the 13-month figure, like anything else in sales.
Yeah, you want to hold it. You want to buy and hold.
Now the interesting thing about this whole thing, the thing that always made me uneasy, is that you get the whale who decides to dump the market so that he starts showing up and buying more. It's the art of giving and selling and buying. In stock, you go $10,000. It used to be, I don't know what it is now. $10,000 used to be to buy anything in the stock market that made sense. Anything under that, you weren't really a player.
Right.
10,000 and above is when you start doing. 10,000 and above is when you start putting something on the table. This game is a little bit different because there is no preset. I mean, if you could buy one for 31,000, and you're gonna sit there, you put it in the drawer and leave it alone. Don't be looking at your phone all day long because it's gonna go like this.
You drive yourself crazy.
It drives you nuts. It's like insider trading. You remember in the 90s when the bubble was already beginning to blow out of proportion, and people became house traders from your own
Right. Everyone thought they were a trader.
Right.
Everybody thought they were trading. I got a neighbor head and he says, "Oh, I'm going to work," and he was in his pajamas. And he would spend all day.
But there's no trading on this. It is.
No, it's a market. There's trading.
But
Bitcoin's
you
actually
don't
open
trade it.
24/7.
Somebody else is doing it.
Bitcoin's open 24/7 too. It's open on weekends.
But you're not buying anything in particular.
You're not buying
the
individuals
coin.
like you do in stock, where you're not investing in a fund or pulling out of a fund and putting it into another fund. You're buying Bitcoin as a whole.
Yeah. You're buying Bitcoin, the asset.
So
and
there's
the
nothing
currency
for you
that
to
it
do
is.
to stay up at night other than worrying if you want to or get excited. You can't trade in and out of something.
No, you could trade in it. It's a market. There's a price behind it, so
You
it's
could trade
traded.
it, yeah. If you
there,
want.
there are people that do that, and they sit there and they look at charts and they look at support and resistance levels and they're looking at charts and the relative strength and Bollinger Bands and all this stuff.
And they go nuts.
Yeah.
They're
So
taking
$10,
Quaaludes because
huh?
they're going crazy.
How's your $10 done?
It's doing pretty good. my wonderful.
But the funny thing here is
Has
this.
your $10 gone up?
I actually have seen within, depending on what time of the day, I can see the little tiny spikes with,
It's gonna drive you crazy doing
15 cents,
that.
20 cents.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
if you invest a lot of money, you're
Yeah.
like, oh, that's a couple $100 of fluctuation.
Yeah, so that's something that's actually a really, really good point. So Bitcoin right now, it's at such an obscenely high price that it's basically hard to kind of get leverage on it. Because if you're only going to do $100, Bitcoin has to go from 30,000 to 60,000 to double your money, right? So you do need a lot of leverage on it. You would want to put something like at least $3,000, $5,000, $10,000 into it. Now, there are other cryptocurrencies and digital assets, they're calling them, that are reliable and have also withstood a test of time as well. There's Litecoin, there's Ethereum, there's a bunch of other cryptocurrencies.
But Bitcoin is still the big dad.
Bitcoin is the king daddy, they say.
But then, okay, so follow my.
And a lot of other cryptocurrencies, they kind of have their own different technologies too.
So follow my thinking.
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
You may like this.
Life according to Freddie.
So I get into people come in here to do commercials and everything else. You got Comcast in here, and I got all these players, right? You got people.
They're going to pay you in Bitcoin.
Pay me in Bitcoin. Pay me in Bitcoin. I take the Bitcoin in and I put it in the drawer. I don't care if it's going up and down because I've already provided the service.
Unless you need to pay bills out of that.
Well, but you're not listening. I'm not saying 100% business being paid. I'm saying you put a certain percentage. You're gonna win, and even if you gain $60,000, you're gonna have to pay capital gains. And if you do it under 13 months, you're gonna have to pay 21%. And think about that. You gotta think the long game here.
Yeah.
The long game, right? When he bought in at 600, man, I like to be his shirt.
Yeah, but my average buy price is probably closer to about maybe 6,000 or 7,000 because again at that time I didn't know. No one knew it was going to be worth
I'll
what
make
it was.
it 10,000.
When it started running at 10,000,
yeah,
I was like, what did I do? I sold. I was basically a story, and I was like,
but if you keep it, if you had kept it in the drawer and then disturb it, right? And you're doing a business where 90% of your business is still cash and 10% is Bitcoin, and you're putting that away. Forget about looking at it. Don't look at it. It'll drive you crazy. I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to tell you. You mark my words. In 3 or 4 years.
You know what wound up happening even last year, just in March, COVID hit. We had a liquidity crisis in the market. People were scared. They're running to cash. Stock market tanked, right? Everything was tanking. Bitcoin tanked too. It's a market. There's a lot of liquid Wall Street.
That was the best time to buy.
I started loading up. I started buying stocks. I started buying more Bitcoin. It fell down to 4,000, and I knew that was basically it was like a blessing in disguise to accumulate more, and I always believed in it. So even though it was dropping, I didn't get scared, that it was. I felt like, hey, it's a second chance now to load up. When years ago, even just as a lot of people on the internet, you'll hear stories about. You hear a story about the Bitcoin pizza story, it's called. Guy in 2010 or 11 bought 2 Papa John's pizzas with 10,000 Bitcoins.
Wow.
$30 was 10, because Bitcoin was worth like 8 cents. And he gave the pizza guy Bitcoin for it. He lived in Belgium or something. And that Bitcoin today would be worth something obscene, like $250 million.
Can you imagine? That's the best pizza. Now, let me ask you, if I buy at 31,000,
yeah,
and here we go. Here's the dance, and it drops down to 4,000, right? And I buy 31,000 again, $31,000 more to get rid of my original 31. It's a wash, no?
Well, you would have averaged your price at whatever between 4 and 31 is. You would have averaged your price around, right?
But I get to make the adjustment, which is what it's called. It's called an adjustment, and then start from that point forward. I mean, it's not.
You're saying if you sold it?
Yes, to get rid of the weight, because I'm carrying that 31 to drop to 4.
Yeah, well, if you buy it at 31 and it dumped back down to 10 and you hit sell, you just lost $21,000 USD.
And then I buy again with a fresh money at 10 and it goes up to 31.
But now you just made back what you lost.
That's the wash. So you got to be careful when you buy this thing. But again, my concept is really simple. If I don't buy it and I trade what we do, because what we do, once I do the filming, it's done. There's no getting it back. I can't undo the film. It's done, right? So if all of a sudden, everybody call this guy and let's get into Bitcoin, right? And all of a sudden it blows up and he's paying me in Bitcoin. Okay, I don't know what it's going to be worth tomorrow, but neither do you with the stock market. Now, I used to trade variable life insurance.
Okay.
At $2,000.
I have my license for that.
It was a VLI. I used to trade $2,000 of tax-free life insurance investment. They took it off the market because it blew up. At $2,000 on the clicker, what is it today? $30,000? If you held on to that variable life, which you could not, they couldn't force you to get rid of it, you'll be a multi-millionaire today. Multi. And I sold mine at $3,000.
You know, a lot of people in the late 90s, early 2000s, if you look at a chart, Amazon had a 90% crash in the early 2000s. 90%. And since I think it's like about 2001, it's up 33,000%.
Isn't that nuts?
So, you know, and again, that was something, it was an early company, early technology. You know, tech bubble bursted, people panic sold, and now they're a story. And then the people that held it long term, you know, they hit a grand slam.
They hit a grand slam. And it's funny because in the day when I was in high school, you know what the #1 stock was? IBM.
Yeah.
Remember? It was $700 a share.
Your grandfather, right? There you go.
Grandpa, you okay?
I'm telling you, IBM was the IBM was the beast. It was the beast.
Yeah.
Now, also the .com, which is owned by those people on that island off of Africa. You know about the .com companies?
What?
There's a company, there's a tribe, a village that owns .com. They own all the money from everything you ever do, anything, TV, all the monies are sent to them. It's the island that's sinking into the ocean.
Interesting.
You've never seen this thing?
No.
Oh, you got to look it up.
I will look that up.
They started the .com. Some kid went to school from that island, and they own the .com. And everything .com now goes back in this thing. So you never know. But I still like the idea of using Bitcoin in exchange for payment. There are certain people that have it and are willing to sort of let it go for in exchange for, let's say, commercials. You don't buy it?
I 100% do. I'm just thinking about how it all layers out.
You know,
but yes.
I read a recent story online of a Syrian refugee that, look at what happened, it's only about a year or two ago with the whole Syria fiasco. I mean, their country, it literally crumbled, cities destroyed. And there were people, you know, they're doing whatever, marketing project, whatever they're doing for a living. You know, I think this guy was a marketer for some companies in India. What did he do? His whole city just got destroyed. And it was an excellent article about how he got into Bitcoin because it's a borderless, permissionless, decentralized currency. And, you know, his paper money wasn't worth anything anymore. And so he started taking payments for his work in Bitcoin.
I heard rumors that they were going, well, you know, in Europe they use, what do they use in Europe for the trading?
The euro?
The euro. That thing. Now, when the euro first came out, I'll never forget this. I worked for an Italian company. And he was ready. I do everything in euro. I says, and I don't, because I didn't know what the hell a euro was.
Right, how it transfers.
Now, the euro is more stronger than the dollar, correct?
I don't actually know right now. I think
it's
17
to 1.
Yeah, I think so.
The pound is 50 to 1.
Yeah.
The euro is stronger than, but nobody ever poo-pooed the euro.
But then my assumption is based on that. If you're in England and you're buying Bitcoin based on the euro, when you sell, it's based on the euro. What is the regulation on it?
Well, no, there's Bitcoin exchanges in England.
Different exchange rates.
And there's also even the American exchanges as well, though, like Coinbase and Gemini. When you sell it, you're selling it into British pounds. You're selling it into yen in Japan.
So it's the exchange
So
rate.
if I keep it over there, do I still have to pay capital gains? Or see the count? Yes.
Yeah, unless you're in Switzerland.
The answer
so
to that
probably.
is yes. If that money hits your bank account,
that's right. Yeah. Well, I could go live over there.
And you've just complicated a whole lot of things today.
Well, the reason that people did the Bitcoin was to go around capital gains tax. Now they've wised up and they're taxing it.
Yeah, I mean the government is
making money.
Big Brother's always gonna want you got to pay the piper.
They legalized marijuana. Ain't no different, right? They came out with it costs more to tax marijuana.
When you really think about it, it poses a huge threat to the government. It really does.
Of course,
it poses
it does.
a major threat.
Of course, it does.
There's no way for the government to control this magic internet money.
But it's interesting that you let people invest little bits. I know that's how you started, $5, $10, $20. When I was growing up, my mother always said, put a little bit of money aside for yourself. You never know. It's like you take a 20 and you put it in what my grandmother called it mad money. Like here's $20 in your wallet. But it was cash. But if you took that $20 or $1 a day, right? So you've got $30 a month. If you can part with $1 a day, and you throw it in Bitcoin and you watch it grow and you just let it sit and grow, are you really going to miss that $1 a day?
Correct.
Yeah.
That type of thing for people that are young that are just starting. You're going to. I know you will. That $1 a day.
You'll think about that $1 a day every day.
That's a really awesome point. One of kind of like my theology or thinking behind it years ago was, I am a very foolish spender, right? If I have a bunch of cash in my bank account, if I have $2,000 saved,
you spend it.
I will think of something to spend it on. I'll go on a vacation to the Keys. I'll buy a pair of Jordans. I'll think of something. The money gets bored.
Yes.
And Bitcoin Bitcoin kind of taught me how to start saving. It really did.
Yeah, especially when you couldn't spend it because there's no.
It gave me something. It gave me something to look forward to putting it to, and and back then, like I would literally take about 20% of my check and I'd put it in there, and I'd do that every 2 weeks. And over time, I saw it accumulating. And then I really started to believe it's almost like a self-fulfilling prophecy that I'm witnessing on the internet. People talk about Bitcoin as digital gold and a store of value. And I was like, wow, I'm kind of creating a savings account here for myself.
Amazing.
Which is a great point you brought up.
Now, I got a question. What is $1,000 in Bitcoin right now?
So
I got a plan. I want to put something together.
So yeah, $1,000 right now is 0.031 of a Bitcoin.
Okay, so this is the new deal. For the next 12 months, whoever comes in first come, first serve, they can pay me in Bitcoin up to $1,000. And if you come in and somebody already took it up for January, then you'll be on the waiting list for February. I want to do $12,000 in a year towards the market. If in the end of the year this thing explodes and you people ain't gonna be laughing at me no more, then we'll go to $5,000 a month. I'm not saying to make the whole business Bitcoin because that's kind of suicidal at this number.
Very risky.
But $1,000 a month. If you got Bitcoin and you want to come on the show, you want to do a show, you want to be on television, we got that too. $1,000 in Bitcoin a month, first come, first serve. Let's try to raise $12,000 by December, whatever. You don't pay capital gains till you sell it anyway, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And then, let's see what happens.
And Michael has an awesome Twitter where he talks about all things Bitcoin. He makes jokes, and I didn't realize crypto Twitter was a thing, and it's a whole subsect of Twitter.
Yeah,
which I love.
It's amazing. Are you like an advocate? Do you want people to buy Bitcoin or not? Because it works against you, though.
No, I really, really do believe in it. I believe in the practicality that it offers developing countries that are unbanked. And I do believe in it as a store of value investment. I'm not some type of a conspiracy theorist, libertarian, anti-government guy, but I'm witnessing our government foolishly, in my opinion, print trillions of dollars. I'm personally concerned that there could be inflation in the future.
Which there will be.
So I choose to opt out of that. I choose to buy Bitcoin. So yeah, I'm a huge advocate of it. I try to, put my opinion out there on Twitter. Try to attempt to build a following. There's a lot of pretty big guys on Twitter that have great followings. There's a lot of guys on Wall Street, hedge fund managers, tech entrepreneurs. Jack Dorsey, CEO of Twitter and Square and Cash App. Elon Musk. There's some guys that really believe in it, and it's no surprise to me actually that it is the techies. It's the innovators that always, they see past. They see ahead. They see into the future.
It's really interesting.
And,
I wonder if Gio's doing it.
I mean, I want to ride their coattails. Man.
The funny thing is,
techie makes me think of your
well,
son.
the funny thing is that I mean, we stay away from politics no matter what. I only believe in one politic, which is making money. And I don't care what color you represent, red, blue, green. It makes no difference to me. The bottom line here is if you can make this thing work for you, you should do it. It's like anything else. McDonald's, right? They started with one burger. McDonald's sold one burger the first day they opened, right? And now they're what? Quadrillion? Now you can't even count the number of McDonald's and what they sell and generate. So the bottom line here is you start a trend. And then you put it in the drawer. That's all. Hey, listen, if I had known you and we had done this 30 years ago, and we would have bought stock, who would have thought that Amazon stock would do what it's doing now? You could retire. My father bought Coca-Cola in cans when it first came out, and his brother made him sell it the same day. He says, nobody drinks soda out of a can. So when my dad was alive, I used to always bring him a Coke. And he says, you ever going to stop doing this to me? Because we would have been retired, I think, 40 years ago, right? So if you don't take a shot, you're never going to score. I kind of like this whole trend, and I'm stupid. And you see, now I'm angry because I was in this game.
So how about 10% or 20% of what we pay our crew? You guys getting Bitcoin?
To kind of piggyback what you were saying, though, Freddie, you even just think back to even 10 years ago, though, people were calling Uber crazy, Airbnb crazy. You want to hear crazy? Uber doesn't own any cars. Airbnb doesn't own any hotels.
No, they don't. No overhead.
Okay, and
smartest I have ever seen.
So when a technology innovation arises,
he's buying 32,000.
You either kind of when technology though begins to progress, you either hop on board or you get left behind. And I think we do live in a digital world. Bitcoin is viewed as kind of like a digital gold. And I do think it really needs to be paid attention to. You don't want to sleep on it.
And it's funny because we'll do the stupidest things. You ever seen the car Montes in the street?
No.
The 3-car Montes. You never seen those guys?
Yeah.
Pick the red card.
Oh.
Yeah. My sister made. You ever seen that? My sister made me 20, and the guy says, "Oh, look, you won. I got 40, right?" So he says, "Oh," and I won again. I got 80. He says, "Man, you're good. Your eyes are so fast." He said, "I tell you what, that's a double or nothing." So I put up on your 60. There wasn't a red card to be found. No. I lost it like this, right? So that doesn't stop me from investing. Just invest right. I used to tell people that when you're in business, it isn't about what you sell. It's buying right. When you buy right, that's when you make money. When you just buy, when you invest, you're up, you're down, you got ulcers, you're on the floor.
It's like everything. It's like I said in the car yesterday with Slick. Just make sure this is the right thing we're buying.
Yes, but if you buy right.
You heard me say it, right? Mm-hmm.
But if you buy right, we bought this monster camera. Now we're up to 3 lenses that we need. But you hold on. You hold on. Because I have never steered you wrong. When that thing makes money, which it's already started to, you got to sit back and say, something? I'm pretty good. That's why I applaud what Teddy did, because you took the first step. You broke the ceiling.
$5 whole.
But that's okay.
When it comes to really what you're talking about. Like, when you think about it, you know, cash is meant to be spent. The longer you hold cash, over time, it devalues. You guys were born very much earlier than me. You know, my dad was buying, you know, movie tickets and a Coca-Cola and this for 10 cents. You know, and so we have seen inflation take place over the last 30 years. It's undeniable. So the longer you hold cash, it's devaluing. And what really wealthy people do is they don't hold cash. They buy assets with it.
That's right.
That's what they do. They
That's
buy
buying
stocks
right.
and they buy real estate and they don't hold cash.
That's what's called buying right.
Cash
Exactly
is supposed to
right.
be spent.
You know, it's funny. There was an old saying that was sent up. Remember when sugar was supposed to be the best thing for you? They used to say, eat more sugar. Sugar will make you live till 1,000, right? So cash was king, is an old saying. And they put that in play so that you held on to it. Because people of power know that if you hold on to it and they're investing in the future, they're going to be here where you're holding on to that $1,000 and turn that 1,000 into 100,000. And then they'll gobble you up. That's the difference. Is you got to invest. You got to circulate anything in life. If you sit on your money, my father used to say, what am I going to do? Take it with me to the grave? Right? What are you going to put it in the box and take it with you? It ain't going to serve you no purpose. You got to spend it and find more. And I got grandkids. You're going to have grandkids soon. You watch. And you got to spend it for that future. You know, what I don't like about what's going on today, our kids are an exception to this rule, is that a lot of kids don't come to the realization that your future's starting now. Put money into Bitcoin and let it grow. Put it into certain things and let it grow, because you ain't going to be 21 all your life. Trust me when I tell you. Your legs are going to hurt too at 40. It's going to happen.
Interesting. You want people to contact you or follow you?
Yeah, you can follow me on Twitter. My handle is @Mikey_Mock. So @Mikey, MIKEY _Mock, MACH. My actual name on Twitter is Hodl Be Thy Name. Hodl, I'll tell you the story behind that some other time.
All right.
Yeah.
Nice
So, yeah,
job, Teddy.
Follow me on Twitter and
And
give
be
you some
sure to
advice.
check out every other week. Michael's going to come on to Teddy Unscripted. We're going to do a Bitcoin series. So if you have any questions, message him on Twitter, come on Teddy Unscripted Instagram, email me, whatever, and we're going to be doing a series on it.
Look at our little girl grow.
I
Look
know,
at her.
making it happen. Listen, if you want to do, you could be the one for what are we in January? What?
We're still
Might be
January.
too-
Still got the end
You
of the
want
week.
to come down and we'll make a deal on Bitcoin for some kind of services you want, commercial, whatever you want. I'm all in. And then if it happens, then I'm going to call you back to make sure that I know what the hell I'm doing. this is
We have
too
no
easy.
idea.
This is just too easy.
know.
But I saw the thing on your phone. I almost hit that button.
I'm
You
assuming
got
that it must give
$32,000?
you. It must. Yeah, don't hit that button. I'm assuming it would give you an option as to prices and amounts instead of just hit it on a buy.
No, on Cash App, because I did it on Cash App.
You could do whatever you feel comfortable with.
Where's the Bitcoin stored when you hit Cash App?
It's stored in Cash App digital wallet. Stored in a digital wallet. The same way.
So Cash App gets to use the digital money too?
Well, when you're buying it on Cash App, I mean you're buying Bitcoin on the Bitcoin blockchain, but it's stored in your Cash App wallet, you know, and you have
But
your
that's
Bitcoin and you have
brilliant,
your dollars.
Because now they got a bottom line. The Cash App has a bottom line.
Actually,
then.
it does. It's got all these
You know,
regulations.
PayPal just added Bitcoin too.
I can see. Can we do that?
How much you can buy? How
Like,
much you
can
can
we
sell in
have
Cash
an
App?
account where we can have people buying and we'll sort of store the money?
Sure.
yeah.
Think about that. My God, you store billions and billions of dollars. You know, you get a letter of intent and everything else behind it.
More to come. Nice job, you guys. Nice job, Slick. Great job on the shoot. Thank you, Crazy Uncle Mike's, for allowing us to shoot some footage there for Hey Mr. DJ and Lost Harbor, and for Tracy and all of our amazing sponsors.
Thanks, Summer.
Great job on that, Summer. Nice spot that you did also. Been an interesting day.
All right, give me a
And
phone.
nice job on the sum.
I want to buy some Bitcoin. It's really
All right,
good.
have a
Good
great
stuff.
afternoon, everyone. Be safe, be kind to each other, wear your mask. We'll see you tomorrow, 9 a.m. drive
And
time.
as always, don't be late.
Bye-bye.
I kind of like that. 12,000.
Well, that's about it for today. Even though the show is over, the Brooklyn Cafe is always open for business. You're invited to join the fun every day from 12 to 2. If you missed some of the laughs from today, Dawn and Freddie S. will bring more good cheer next time. You can follow the Brooklyn Cafe on Facebook at the Brooklyn Cafe TV to rewatch every minute of the show. Well, see you next time.
Sleepless nights, I wait for you to bring me back to life. In my electric eyes, it doesn't mean that time can pick in every single breath. I want to unfreeze my heart and fly away. That's why I wanna say and craters, open up my eyes, waterfalls of ice, sweeping me away like an avalanche, helpless as I fall, the words can't say it all, sweeping me away like an for a sound, waiting deep inside my maze of sweeping thrills and colors, just a ray of light.